All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and also to their elders, the men that taught them. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the household of the hopeful elect. This is the brother Shema Wan from the Great Millstone Houston Church. And I want to come with a lesson. I was just meditating on how blessed we are to be inside the know, to be inside of the loop of, believing in the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy. We're not, in darkness or in a spirit that's turned off by certain events that are taking place here in our time. We get excited when we see things pop off, and the things that are popping off, it's bad news. It's tension, it's war talk, famine, pestilences, right? But whenever these things take place, we get some type of joy because we see what we believe in take place. Like the scriptures tell us in 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter. I'll just read it. It says, "He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." And that's the time we're in. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is visiting this earth. His presence, his judgment, his spirit is upon this earth. And you see what's taking place. Judgments, like the scriptures tell us, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, I'll get it. Right. So if you are listening to people out there teaching about, peace and safety and, hey, things are going to get better on this side, for you, the future is bright. No, the only brightness of our future is these prophecies continually taking effect. And that's the thing. Whenever these prophecies take effect, mark them off the list because it's leading to the day Yahweh Shai returns. The MOTB, Jacob's trouble, MOTB will be in that moment or in that time. Then World War III has to come in. What's next? Yahweh Shai has to come back and deliver his elect. So with these very few things that are left, the prophecies that you are finna see take place, because this is the end of an age. This is the end of a rulership. It's not going out in a beautiful, calm, peaceful way. It's finna be broken down and overtaken and, and removed. That's not a peaceful time or a gentle time, or a season that we're in that's taking place on this earth. But real quick, Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So it says, the prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. And prophets out there talking about peace and who aren't focusing on war because that's the time we're in. Pestilence, evils, that's what's taking place on this earth. The earth is in the hands of the wicked, and he was meant to take peace from it. So how in the hell can a true prophet out here be prophesying about peace in these times? No, peace is to come. But going back to 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, we see certain things taking place which pinpoint where we are according to prophecy. So again, it says, 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 3 again. I'll read verse 2. It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the Salakia. It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So the Lord already had these things, supposed to happen way from the jump. And now we're seeing them take place on a high level. Just looking up certain what was I on? Just certain news websites. AP News, naturalnews.com, Global Conflict Global Conflict Tracker, End Time Headlines, so on and so forth. On every page I went to, it was uproars of the people. It was some type of evil, some type of bad time going on, man. Natural disaster, uproar of the people, tension. That's the times that we're in. That's not easily, you can't just overlook that. That's the Lord speaking and telling you what times we're in. The Spirit of the Lord is visiting this place, man. So it says, verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is made, Salaki, and the end is manifest. So now it's seen, it's clear what time we're in. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. So concerning the end, because it's going into the end times, right? Why is somebody going to be, in a situation where they're going to be in need of being saved? Why is the deliverance, needed in the end time? Because that's how bad it's finna be. And according to what's taking place on the earth, the Lord is letting us know we are in bad times. Evil times are coming. That's how this place is going to end. It's not going to be pretty. The birth pain, so to speak, like it tells us in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, that's finna come upon all the world. So it is no escape. We can see the flood coming. That's why the spirit is heavy. Just what's been going on lately, man. The Lord is really doing things, amongst the body. But it's evident, camps out there preaching peace and safety and prosperity and salvation for everybody. That doesn't line up with prophecy, especially with the times that we're in. Like the scripture tell you, it's a time for everything. Real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 3:1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. And just think, what time do you think we're in right now with everything going on across, the globe, amongst different countries, amongst different nations of people? What time do you think is going on? A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from bracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away. Verse 7, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And just reading that, because those are actual questions and actual, actual timing for certain things. But guess what? Verse 1, it says, to everything there is a season. So what season are we in? What season are we in? And a time to every purpose under the heavens. All right. And according to prophecy, according to the end, it tells you, through these precepts on what's coming, for instance. All right. If you don't know what time it is, if you think it's a time for laughing, if you think it's a time for planting, if you think it's a time for gaining on this side and building, right? A time, how does it say? A time to get. If you think it's those times, Let's see what the scriptures say according to the end times. Real quick, 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and let's jump in at verse 40. Matter of fact, let's start at 37. 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and 37. Let me go to the GNT. No, I'm gonna read it real quick before I have to go. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 37 in the KJV, it says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son within 2 or 3 hours of her birth. Great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment." Okay, going into the times that we're in, compared to a woman in the 9th month of her labor, right? The end of her labor, right? It says, "Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth." Okay, that's what's coming to this earth at the end time. Plagues. "And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle," because it's going to be a fight of faith in the times that are coming. Like it tells you, the Lord is coming back to find those who got faith on this earth. Evils are coming. Very trying times are coming. And you got to be, sound in the faith. You got to be rooted in the faith to endure these times. You have to have Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai on your side in these times, man. So right now, it's not time to get on this side. The Lord tells us, forget this side. This shit is fading away. It's finna pass away. It's about what's coming. All right. It says, verse 39, verse 40, "Oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth." So being a pilgrim upon the earth, you're not attached to anything. You don't have a lot of shit with you to bring, you won't have a lot of attachments, nothing to weigh down, because you go be on the move, so to speak. That's how it is on this side, in this existence. Pilgrims upon the earth, especially at the end time, the last time, it's a wrap. It is a wrap, man. It says, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away." So guess what? It's not time to get on this side. "And he that buyeth, as one that will lose." Going back to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Just how things you had a balance of things. And right now, the times we're in point to everything like, hey, get ready to lose it. Or have the mindset of, hey, it can be lost. Because really, we got a life to gain. By losing out on this side, like the Lord told you, in order to gain your life, you got to lose it, And if you want to save your life on this side, you're going to lose your life to come. But just meditating upon that before I get up out of here. According to prophecies, these other camps their doctrines ain't lining up. If they talking about peace and safety and certain things taking place. End times tell you troubles are coming. Be a pilgrim upon the earth. It ain't time to get and to build up on this side. It's time to prepare for something that's coming, where you might lose a lot of things you occupy. Verse 42, "He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein." And it just keeps going on and on. But, I'll end it there. I just wanted to get that real quick. So, Lord willing, I pray this lesson was edifying to the Lord's elect. And to the next time, I say shalom.